When your puppy turns 2 weeks old, you probably think the hardest part is over. They have opened their eyes, they are starting to move around, maybe you are starting to relax a little. But what most dog owners do not realize is that the most critical window in their dog's entire life is about to open. And if you miss it, the consequences will follow your dog for years, maybe forever. Week 3 is not just another week of puppyhood. It is the week that determines how your dog will see the world, process fear, handle stress, and bond with humans for the rest of their life. And the science behind why this 7-day window matters so much will change everything you thought you knew about raising a dog. Let us start with what is actually happening inside your puppy's brain during week 3. Week 3 is when your puppy's brain becomes permanently wired for fear or confidence. You might assume that a puppy is born with a personality. Shy or bold, nervous or brave, but that is not how it works. During the first 2 weeks of life, a puppy's brain is barely online. Their eyes are closed, their ears are sealed, and their nervous system is still forming. They eat, sleep, and stay warm, that is it. But in week 3, everything changes. This is the week their eyes fully open and begin to focus. Their ear canals open and sound floods in for the first time. Their legs get stronger and they start to explore beyond the nest. And deep inside their brain, the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing fear and emotional memory, comes online. Neuroscientists call this the critical period for neurological imprinting. It is the moment when a puppy's brain begins creating the templates it will use to interpret the world for the rest of its life. If week 3 is calm, safe, and full of gentle, positive experiences, the puppy's brain wires itself to expect safety. Their baseline becomes confidence. But if week 3 is chaotic, stressful, or filled with sudden loud noises, rough handling, or isolation, their brain wires itself differently. It creates a template that says the world is dangerous, and that template does not go away. Dr. Michael Fox, a veterinary behaviorist who has studied early canine development for over 40 years, describes week 3 as the foundation week. He says that what happens during this period sets the emotional thermostat for the dog's entire life. You cannot go back and rewrite it later. You can work around it, you can manage it, but you cannot undo it. So if you think week 3 does not matter because the puppy is still so small, still so new, you are wrong. This is the week that matters most, and what happens next makes it even more urgent. Week 3 is when your puppy decides whether humans are safe. Here is something that will surprise you. Puppies are not born trusting humans. That trust has to be built, and it has to be built during a very specific window. Before week 3, a puppy cannot see you clearly, cannot hear your voice properly, and their brain is not developed enough to form emotional associations. After week 8, the fear period begins and new experiences become much harder to process without anxiety. But week 3 is the sweet spot. This is the week when a puppy's senses come alive and their brain is open, curious, and ready to form bonds. Researchers studying early socialization have found that puppies who are gently handled by humans every single day during week 3 show measurably lower stress responses to human interaction for the rest of their lives. Their cortisol levels stay lower when meeting strangers. They recover faster from stressful situations, and they score higher on confidence tests as adults. But here is the part that stops people cold. The opposite is also true. Puppies who are not handled during week 3, even if they are handled later, show lifelong difficulty with human touch. They startle more easily. They take longer to trust. And in some cases, they never fully relax around people, even their own owners. A study from the University of Pennsylvania followed hundreds of puppies from birth and tracked their behavior into adulthood. The single strongest predictor of a confident, well-adjusted adult dog was not genetics, not training, not even the quality of the home they went to. It was whether they received consistent, gentle human contact during week 3. Your puppy is not too young to care about you during week 3. Week 3 is when they are learning whether to care at all. And if this is making you rethink everything you thought about puppy development, stay with me because what comes next is even more specific. Week 3 is when your puppy's stress response gets calibrated. Think about how your dog reacts when something unexpected happens. A loud noise, a stranger at the door, a trip to the vet. Some dogs take it in stride, others fall apart. And most owners assume that is just the dog's personality, but scientists have discovered that how a dog responds to stress is not random. It is set during week 3. During this week, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the system that controls your dog's stress hormones, is going through a calibration phase. It is learning how much cortisol to release in response to new or stressful stimuli. If a puppy experiences mild, manageable challenges during week 3, like being gently picked up, moved to a new surface, or exposed to a quiet new sound, their stress system learns to regulate. It learns that stress is temporary and manageable. The result is a dog with what researchers call stress resilience. But if week 3 is either completely sterile with zero stimulation or chaotic and overwhelming, the system calibrates incorrectly. It either under-responds, which can create a reckless dog with no sense of caution, or it over-responds, which creates a dog that lives in a constant state of low-level anxiety. Dr. Carmen Battaglia, a renowned expert in early canine neurological development, developed a protocol called Early Neurological Stimulation specifically for week 3. It involves 5 simple exercises, each lasting just 3 to 5 seconds, done once per day. Holding the puppy in different positions, touching their paws with a cold object, placing them on a textured surface. These tiny controlled stressors teach the puppy's brain that stress is brief and survivable. And the results are extraordinary. Puppies who go through this protocol show stronger cardiovascular systems, higher resistance to disease, and better problem-solving ability as adults. All from 1 week of intentional, gentle exposure. Your puppy is not too fragile for the world during week 3. Week 3 is when their brain is learning how to handle the world. And there is one more discovery that makes this week even more irreplaceable. Week 3 is the only time your puppy's brain is this open to learning without fear. After week 8, a puppy enters what is called the fear imprint stage. This is a survival mechanism. In the wild, this is when puppies start to venture away from the den, and their brain needs to be cautious. A single bad experience during the fear period can create a lifelong phobia, but before week 8, there is a window, and the widest part of that window is week 3. During this time, a puppy's brain is in what neuroscientists call a high plasticity state. They are absorbing information at an extraordinary rate, but without the fear filter that kicks in later. They are curious but not cautious, open but not overwhelmed. This is why week 3 is the ideal time to introduce gentle sounds. A doorbell, a vacuum cleaner in another room, soft music, not to scare the puppy, but to let their brain catalog the sound as normal. This is the time to let them feel different textures under their paws. Carpet, tile, grass, rubber. This is the time to let them smell different things, meet calm adult dogs, and experience being held by different people. Not for long, not intensely. Just enough for their brain to write it into the map of what is safe and normal. Puppies who experience this during week 3 grow into dogs who are not startled by the everyday chaos of human life. They do not panic at the sound of a garbage truck. They do not freeze when they step onto a new surface. They move through the world like it was built for them, because in a way, during week 3 it was. Week 3 is when everything either gets easier or much, much harder. Here is the truth that no one tells new puppy owners. If you get week 3 right, almost everything else gets easier. Your puppy will be easier to socialize, easier to train, easier to live with. They will recover from mistakes faster. They will trust you sooner. And they will grow into a dog that does not spend their life afraid of the world. But if you miss week 3, you will spend years trying to undo what was wired in during those 7 days. You will work twice as hard to build confidence. You will manage fear triggers that did not have to exist. You will watch your dog struggle in situations that other dogs handle easily, and you will wonder why. The answer will be week 3. This is not about perfection. You do not need to do everything right. But you do need to do something. You need to hold your puppy every day, speak to them gently. Let them hear the sounds of your home. Introduce them to safe new experiences in tiny doses. Let their paws touch new surfaces. Let their nose explore new scents. Give their brain the message that the world is safe, that humans are kind, and that stress does not last forever. Because week 3 is not practice. It is not a rehearsal. It is the 1 week where your puppy's brain is wide open, writing the code that will run in the background for the next 15 years. And once that week closes, it does not come back. Your puppy will keep growing. They will keep learning. But they will never again be this open, this malleable, this ready to become exactly the dog you hope they will be. Week 3 is not just important. Week 3 is everything.